Hello dear friends, this is a summary of the latest update released by the contactee Cobra. Not all the information he gives is pink, but the documentation he provides is authentic. The writers have nothing to fear, because they are protected. Opinion piece. Historical Crossroads. Galactic Wave of Light. Brotherhood of the Rose. Intersection of cosmic cycles. There are inviolable universal laws. There would be a particle emission. Regressives try to delay it. Ascension conference in Paris. Nothing can be said with certainty. We have lost 25% of the magnetic field. The good news is that we are now protected. We must unlearn what we have learned. A Lightworker is working at 10% of his capacity. Let's start. There is scientific evidence that we are at a very important moment in history because several cosmic cycles are crossing. This universe has not yet found its final balance because it is not in a state of equilibrium. We are heading towards a hole that will change everything. The universe stops expanding and comes to a halt. This change will modify all the laws of physics according to the famous contactee Cobra. There is going to be a quantum leap. The universe will jump to another level and rearrange everything. After 13 billion years, we are moving into a new reality. All galaxies have a center and sends out energy. This will move the planet into a new dimension. We will find particles that travel faster than light. We are at the intersection of different cosmic cycles, but also at a crucial crossroads in the history of the universe. We have proof of the importance of this moment by observing the motion of stars. This universe is about to undergo a major quantum transition from unexpected source, the Planck stars. The three cycles, cosmic, galactic and solar, converge at the opening of the Ascension portal in 2025, which is a milestone for us to estimate when the big changes should occur. Anomaly. The plasma anomaly is mostly on the surface of this planet and is fed by all our electromagnetic equipment. We suffer from programming from implants, from our parents, from school, from the media and from the society. A Lightworker works at 10% of his or her capacity on average, and very few are at 50%. The clique is reacting to its traumas compulsively, and they are not using its common sense, even though they are aware of the pole shift. We must unlearn what we have learned. Programming begins before we are born. Use common sense. The human brain perceives only a very small part of reality. Cobra was able to go beyond the veil in a stratospheric Russian plane. The matrix is made up of many layers on a non-physical plane. And these veils will be lifted and we will be accepted into galactic society as full members. Conference. The Ascension conference in Paris, organized by the contactee Cobra, was a great success. After the long break, this was the first meeting in years, and therefore it was decided to keep the ground small. Interest among the surface population was more than expected, and the conference was sold out within days of being announced. Everything went smoothly at the meeting, and there was a group of about 320 participants from all over the world. For many of them, it was the first opportunity in years to reconnect with their fellow Lightworkers. The Brotherhood of the Rose has been successfully awakened and revived, and it is hoped that we will hear from it soon. One of the stated aims of this conference is to bring spiritual light to Paris. It is 250 years since its vortex was activated. It will be reactivated, and it will play an important role in planetary liberation. Instability. Cobra shared the experience he had beyond the veil in a Russian military plane on a space flight. The idea is to tear the veil placed on this planet so that humans can integrate into the galactic community and history. He then shared the image of a toroid in motion, as all life in this universe is based on a toroidal energy field. However, the universe has not reached its equilibrium state, and the coming change comes to change the physical laws of this universe. So gravity and light will change. We will know a stop of the expansion of the universe with a reversal of the direction of the expansion, and therefore all laws will change. He then showed a graph about the metastability of the vacuum and said that we will experience a quantum leap. The pseudo-quantum vacuum we are currently experiencing will change with the events ahead of us. Every galaxy has a central sun that sends energy throughout the galaxy. What we call a great galactic wave of light is actually a pulse of galactic energy, like a heartbeat, and that pulse causes an evolutionary leap. There will be an emission of particles beyond of the speed of light. Earth's ionosphere absorbs tachyons, and the Pleiadians have applied the technology that allows tachyon energy to be concentrated through a 12-hour process. Cobra reveals the existence of a new type of rock that he calls a galactic Chintamani stone, which allows reconnection with the central galactic sun. This stone would come from a stellar object in the heart of a galaxy, dethroning in terms of frequency the classic Chintamani stone from the Sirius star system. This galactic Chintamani could anchor the highest frequency to the surface of this planet. Cobra presented a map of the island of Taiwan, with the location of the Chintamani stones buried under a network of flowers of life. Galactic Pulse. The galactic pulse reverses the magnetic field of a galactic center. This reversal can be very fast in 9 to 12 months for a complete cycle. And what we observe from our galactic center is an image of the past and does not reflect the current activity of the galactic center. This pulsation generates a reversal of the Earth's magnetic poles, and in general, a great extinction wave energy, 12 to 13,000 years. The cosmic changes that await us are coming to an end, as seen through the end of the great precession cycle, but also through an accumulation of smaller cycles. This galactic pulsation affects every star and every planet in our galaxy. This change has already begun and is manifesting itself through the decrease of the Earth's magnetic field. This predicted collapse of the Earth's magnetic field has a likely reversal around 2025. Cobra gives us an example of the 1859 solar storm that has been called a Carrington event. Today, we have lost 25% of the Earth's magnetic field. The loss was slow at first, but now we would lose 1 to 2% per year. He also gives us an example, the year 776, as the origin of major geopolitical changes in Europe, with Carlemagne, which corresponds to a major solar flare. There are scenarios where this loss is complete and rapid, and others where it is slow and incomplete. We would have a 25% of change of experiencing a complete loss of the Earth's magnetic field by 2025. If we were to experience a solar storm with zero magnetic field on the surface of this planet, then we would have no protection. This would be a phenomenon that has already occurred and has been demonstrated by geologists observing rocks melted by a burst of solar energy. China and NASA have their rovers providing evidence of such energy waves on the surface of the Moon, which has a very weak magnetic field. And this occurs cyclically in relation to the solar cycle of about 12 years. Terrestrial change. As long as the magnetic field is strong, there is a good adhesion between the Earth's crust and the mantle. But if this magnetic field were to collapse, then a displacement of the Earth's crust could occur. The entire crust could slide off in one piece, causing a physical pole shift that would result in a giant tidal wave of 1 or 2 miles high. The universe is currently at a crossroads between expansion and contraction. It is a unique moment when the source or the absolute can directly intervene in creation and dissolve the primal anomaly and all related evil, and this would be the very reason why all darkness would disappear. This moment of direct intervention is called apocalypse or revelation, and is accurately described in a famous vision almost 2,000 years ago. This moment can also be called a cosmic reversal, and scientists are beginning to realize that it will occur not millions of years from now, but much sooner. Secondly, there is the completion of the 12 to 13,000 year galactic magnetic pulse cycle. Then the galactic central sun reverses its magnetic polarity, and during the second cycle reverses its polarity back to the original. The Earth's axis is driven by reversals of the galactic magnetic field, and this would be the true origin of the 25,772 year precession cycle and the 12,000 year Heinrich event cycle. A recent scientific piece shows that galactic magnetic field reversals as sudden events that only last a few years. The reversal of the galactic magnetic field would trigger a mini solar nova, which would cause the reversal of the Earth's magnetic field. The Earth's magnetic field is rapidly decreasing in preparation for the reversal. When the strength of the Earth's magnetic field drops below a certain threshold, it abruptly changes the elasticity and viscosity of the Earth's mantle to allow crustal changes and physical polar shift. The polar shift would trigger a global tsunami that would sweep the planet and purify it. This tsunami would be a necessary part of the primary anomaly purification process, and only people strongly connected to the inner light within islands of lights could survive on the planet's surface, with the exception of the occasional opportunistic prepper. The rest of the humankind would be evacuated from the surface voluntarily and could then begin a new cycle from scratch in full alignment with the light. After the event, we would have the option of being teleported to motherships, as in the story of Noah's Ark. We would have the possibility to refuse this physical teletransportation to experience physical death on the surface of this planet. However, there will be an exception for the supervillains who will have to restructure into their essence on the galactic central sun. The leading members of the clique are aware of the coming polar shift and plan to survive in their bunkers and underground shafts, but would be eliminated by the resistance before the polar shift occurs, Cobra believes. The dark side is fully aware of the situation that was repackaged in a special way in the so-called global warming. Thirdly, there is the end of the solar magnetic cycle that lasts about 11 years. The next solar magnetic reversal is expected around 2025. The Sun is becoming active much faster than expected, and the current number of sunspots already exceeds predictions for the peak of the cycle in 2025. In a few months, leading scientists will begin to realize that something unusual is happening in the current solar cycle, and some of them may connect the dots, causing panic in some circles. Protection. The good news is that we are protected. Since June 2022, the Dyson spheres, by positioning motherships, have been positioned around the Earth and the Sun to contain the renewed activity of our Sun, and thus give us a little more time to transition by limiting the impact. There is an area from America to Europe and North Africa where small crystal balls can be found in the area of the old equator, which were created by an earlier solar flare. They were formed at a temperature of about 2000 degrees Celsius, above the surface of the planet. With the next window of maximum solar activity being 2025, it is possible that this corresponds to the next solar flare. Nothing can be said for certain, but we would have a 25% chance of it happening. According to Cobra, the forces of light are aiming for 2025, and they are doing everything they can to make that happen, but with the protection that goes with it. Economist Marty Armstrong simulated civilizational cycles and offers predictions very similar to those of Cobra. He showed the collapse curve for 2025, and there is another collapse curve for 2032-33. Pluto. According to Cobra, Pluto is now in Capricorn, which is favorable to the exposure of the corruption. But Pluto will enter Aquarius on March 23rd, 2023. From then on, Pluto will be a double-edged sword that can bring light or also offer the possibility for the shadow to strengthen its dystopia through the influence of the Davos Forum. In general, an end of the Pluto cycle brings drastic changes in humankind's societies. I am not an astrologer, and this is a personal interpretation of Cobra. In addition, we would have Neptune in Pisces, which is a redemptive force. Neptune in Aries would put the focus on spiritual action in 2025. The sextile of the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, would bring the energetic changes for the new epoch. Then evoke two outer planetoids, Setna and Haumea. Setna will favor the intervention of the Pleiades, and is closely related to the galactic central sun, and therefore brings the energies of the new age. Haumea in Scorpio awakens the occult in individuals. This configuration in 2025 would be much more powerful than in 1504, because Uranus and Pluto will form a sextile with Neptune in Aries, Pluto entering in Aquarius, and Uranus entering in Gemini. This resonance field of the three outer planets would allow for a new renaissance like half a millennium ago in Florence, but much more powerful according to Cobra's interpretation. We know that something big is coming, reading the stars. Even if dark forces try to delay this moment, there are inviolable universal laws. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.